Ross Quearney steps into the cage. Legacy Cage has been on active field since 2016, taking on Gary Rooney.
Last time we saw Ross fight.
Nice right hand by Rooney straight off the bat field, sorry.
Last time we saw Ross fight, he had hair. That was 5 years ago in a decision loss to Dara Toman. Obviously, Gary has been the much more active fighter. Big takedown coming from Mr. Rooney.
Bringing him over to his corner.
Shades of Matt Hughes, Frank Trigg.
And Quearney changes to look for a guillotine choke potentially.
Was trying to work for the arm end. He lets it go, but great situational awareness there from Gary Rooney to bring his opponent right over to his corner.
Not only to bring him over to the corner, but to not slam him, because it seemed like Ross did have a bite. So he was like, I'm not going to just put myself potentially in a worse position here. But Gary's chain grappling is like one of the best I've ever trained with. He is so slick. He knows his position so well.
Recently promoted to brown belt under John Cavan at such a young age.
He's somebody who's competed a lot, but not much on this island. The majority of his fights have taken place under an IMAF format, so good to see Rooney back competing here in Ireland.
Yeah, this is only his second fight on Irish soil. Last time was May of 2019.
He took it short notice, didn't he? This was only added recently. He's like, oh sure, I'll have one more fight before Christmas.
And Ross Quearney, talking about Ross Quearney, he's the Benjamin Button of Irish MMA. I remember calling this guy back in the day, and when I was looking at my stats, I seen 23. I was like, what? Does well there, like a cat just staying on his feet there, Ross Quearney.
Speaking to Ross Quearney, he says, yes, it may be 5 years since I've been in the cage, but he's constantly been training, evolving as a mixed martial artist, and says he's a completely different animal to the guy that stepped in the cage at Clan Wars 5 years ago.
There's a lot of pressure being put on him here by Rooney. And what a compliment, by the way. One of the toughest training partners you've ever rolled with.
I don't mean, well.
So now you're saying
you're taking it back.
No, I don't think I said toughest. We're similar size, but how he can flow through positions, how bendy he is, like his love for jiu-jitsu is really like unparalleled to a lot of people. He also has become a full-time coach recently, opening up his own spot called Flats Jiu-Jitsu.
Did a good job there to be aware of the submission threat from
into
Quearney.
That transition. Look at sort of back, and that's a little bit of what you're talking about, Andrew, how he chains. Not a bad corner he has him behind him either.
No, definitely not. Richie Smullen and Lee Hammond. Lee would have been one of his main training partners over the years. They've always trained together. They love modern jiu-jitsu. They both competed at the Nogi World Championships a couple of years ago. Trained over in California.
And of course, Lee coming off a recent MMA professional debut victory as
Here
well.
we go.
Quearney doing a good job to come out and finish on top here, but I do think there's a cut somewhere.
Don't know if you noticed that just there in Ross's corner. They're pointing across the cage at Gary Rooney, saying something to him, saying, look at him, look at him. They seem to think that they have seen something, either in between rounds or in that first.
And you can almost see the urgency there in what Quearney's doing. Nice hands and mixing up into the kick combination. Nice.
Definitely opening up a lot more aggressive in this second round.
Nice as the ooze echo around the arena, but a nice left hand by Rooney. And
oh, beautiful throw takedown. But
good scramble here, and it's going to be Rooney who lands inside control.
And not only is this a dominant position for Rooney, it also gives him a little bit of a second to assess what's going on after that frenetic start.
Big breathing time. That's what I mean about the awareness of a scramble. You know, knowing that when he's getting taken down, he can use that momentum to then start to roll into something of his attack, ends up getting him on top. This is the bread and butter position you want in MMA. It's the meta at the moment, half guard top position. Is he using the right hand to trap the arm?
Yeah, seems to be, yeah. He's got the handcuff on the opposite side.
Has the Dagestani handcuff.
Just the handcuff, Phil. It's just the handcuff now. It's just
beautiful
the
left hands, and Decky Larkin looking closely. Telling Quearney he needs to move, he doesn't!
Gary Rooney, a return to Irish soil, a return to the win column, and at just such a young age, the world is this young man's oyster.